Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Coming. Lin Yu and others in the territory of the Wolf God clan also saw the 5 supreme gods descending from the sky. As soon as they arrived, they joined forces to attack the restriction of the supreme law that shrouded the battlefield space. But it was obviously not to rescue Demon Lord Gregory, but to besiege Secretarian. The 5 supreme gods are all very large. All are over 10,000 meters. That is their supreme divine body. Showing it shows that they are going all out. Among them, the God King of Killing, the God King of Destruction, and the Goddess of Curse are all in human form. One whose whole body exuded bright blood-colored brilliance. A vision of countless worlds being destroyed appeared behind him. The Goddess of Curse is holding a green scepter, and her perfect golden proportions are wrapped with countless slender rays of light. Each ray of light pierces into the void, and at the same time, mysterious power reaches her through these rays of light. The divine body is constantly transferred. These lights exude an aura of destiny. But it's not the line of fate. It is not a connection of faith. With Lin Yu's current strength, he couldn't tell what kind of power it contained. On the other side, the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, and the supreme god of the alien beasts, Gladstone, stood together. Gladstone needs no introduction. After being transformed by Astia, its body became like a cross between various alien beasts. Although ugly, it feels very oppressive. The supreme divine body of the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, is a supergiant dragon beast of unknown race. It has a pair of huge bone wings, and its tail is a series of winding and twisting tentacles. On its extremely ferocious head, it also wears a crown inlaid with countless gems. At this moment, the 5 supreme gods who arrived were all frantically attacking the restrictions on the battlefield. The same goes for Gladstone and the curse goddess Claytel, who didn't hold back at all. Angelia is worthy of being the strongest 18-winged archangel of the angel clan. The supreme law restriction placed by the 5 supreme gods failed to penetrate it despite being attacked for several minutes. Saw this scene. Demon Lord Gregory, who was being chased by Angelia in the battlefield space, was more anxious than anyone else. Because there is no guarantee that it will die in Angelia's hands in the next second. The longer the 5 supreme gods delay, the lower the probability of their escape. A bunch of useless supreme gods. Demon Lord Gregory was so anxious that he cursed. It took so long for the 5 supreme gods to join forces and fail to break through a single law restriction. If it were me, the supreme demon ancestor of the Void Demon tribe, he would have done it long ago. It is not afraid of offending the Killing God King and others. Continuously use scolding to provoke the general. Anyway, it has made up its mind that after the restrictions in the battlefield space are broken, it will escape as soon as possible and will never get involved in the affairs here. The Lord of the Undead, Adonis, has severed the connection with his demonic body. Now, its consciousness has revived, completely controlled the demonic body. It is now free and not bound by anyone. When given the opportunity, it is determined to escape. Outside the ban, the Killing God King and others were furious when they heard Demon Lord Gregory's angry scoldings. They are famous in the battlefields of all realms and even in countless extraordinary worlds in the universe. There are countless believers who follow and believe in them. Now he was scolded by a puppet. How can I hold my nerve? Especially the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction. The negative emotions in their inner world exploded directly, and they secretly sentenced Demon Lord Gregory to death. Wait until they figure out the reincarnation of Angelia and the Lord of Holy Light. They must cut Demon Lord Gregory into pieces to vent their hatred. About 2 minutes passed. After attacking countless times, cracks finally appeared in the restriction of the supreme law that enveloped the battlefield space. Seeing this, Demon Lord Gregory was immediately overjoyed. Be ready to escape along the crack at the first opportunity. However, at this moment, an extremely terrifying power of the supreme law enveloped it, directly crushing its hope of escape. It's Angelia. After playing for so long, she felt it was time to wrap things up. She did not give Demon Lord Gregory a chance to escape, and instantly suppressed Gregory with her supreme power. and then sealed him in a cage condensed by the supreme law of space. Damn it, I just woke up. Demon Lord Gregory tried his best and attacked the space cage crazily. At this time, its scalp almost exploded. He saw that the way to escape was right in front of him, but the next second he was imprisoned by a seal. No one can tolerate this kind of thing. The most important thing is that it doesn't know why Angelia has the ability to kill it but doesn't do it. Instead, she seals it, but its intuition tells it that this is definitely not a good thing. Maybe they want to capture it, study it, and torture it. The thought of this dark remaining life makes it want to die. But the problem is, it's hard to die now. Angelia's sudden burst of supreme power was terrifyingly powerful. It not only imprisoned its freedom, but also sealed its demonic body, making it unable to even self-destruct. If I had known this was the case, it should explode itself as soon as it wakes up. There was a loud bang. The battlefield space restriction covering hundreds of millions of kilometers has finally been broken. The supreme law disintegrates into countless dazzling brilliance, like flowing light and rain, unusually beautiful. However, the atmosphere at the moment was not suitable to appreciate the dazzling scene. The 5 supreme gods with terrifying divine bodies finally arrived on the battlefield. The eyes of the killing god king and others were also firmly locked on Angelia, who was standing in the center of the battlefield. They all had solemn expressions, because there would be a fierce battle next. Even if their opponent was the Titan god King Clovis, they would not be so nervous. After all, it's 5 against 1. They have an absolute advantage in numbers. But Angelia is different. This 18-winged archangel, who is known as the most powerful of the angel clan, is incredibly powerful in terms of both the supreme law and his divine power. There is no room for them to be careless. If there is even the slightest carelessness, one of them will most likely be found here. Generally speaking, the supreme god is immortal and basically impossible to be killed. Even if the divine body is annihilated and the divine soul is disintegrated, the supreme god can also achieve resurrection and rebirth. In addition, gods usually leave a clone in their own kingdom or secret base, so that after the original body is destroyed, they can be resurrected with the help of the clone. The supreme god will also provide himself with insurance. There are even more ways to save lives. After all, things are unpredictable, and no one can guarantee that they will not have an unexpected accident. However, when the enemy you face controls the supreme law of destiny, all these life-saving means will become meaningless. Because the enemy can pass through the thread of destiny and completely destroy the destiny of the god. Without destiny, no matter how many means of saving life you have, you will die. And he died completely. Angelia is such an enemy. Although Angelia's priesthood is not that of the goddess of fate, the supreme law of fate that she masters is no weaker than that of the goddess of fate, or even stronger. Give a simple example. Angelia once killed the supreme demon ancestor of the demon clan with the sword of destiny. It would be difficult for the goddess of destiny to do this, and at most she would severely damage the supreme demon ancestor. Therefore, when facing Angelia, even the pinnacle gods like the god king of slaughter and the god king of destruction do not dare to be careless. It's a pity that the demon king's puppet was suppressed and sealed. Otherwise, we are now 6 against 1, and our chances of victory are even greater. The killing god King Lawrence said with some regret. Although they destroyed the supreme law restriction arranged by Angelia as quickly as possible, they were still a step too slow and could only watch Demon Lord Gregory being sealed. It's good news that you're not dead. The Lord of the Undead, Adonis, stared at the space cage in Angelia's hands and said, "After killing Angelia, this Demon Lord puppet must be returned to me." Can. The killing god King Lawrence nodded. Originally, the Demon Lord puppet belonged to Adonis, the Lord of the Undead. There is nothing wrong with returning it to Adonis. In addition, he was also glad that the Demon King's puppet was not killed and annihilated by Angelia. Otherwise, he and the god of destruction, Osmond, would have to pay 3 times the value of the divine resources to the Lord of the Undead, Adonis. Even for them, taking out this magical resource is a very painful thing. As for going back on his word, he hadn't thought about it. Even if it is the supreme god of the evil god system, it is still shameful. Don't waste time. Osmond, the god of destruction, held a jet-black divine sword and said expressionlessly, "Let's join forces and suppress Angelia as quickly as possible, lest things change later." As he spoke, a figure flew out of the body of the god king of destruction. This figure looks exactly like the god of destruction, Osmond. It's just that the divine body is smaller. The size is less than a kilometer, but the aura exuding around it has reached an astonishing level of the supreme god, completely comparable to the demon Lord Gregory, who was suppressed by Angelia. Saw this scene. The expressions of several people present suddenly changed. The same goes for the killing god king, because even he didn't know that Osmond, the god of destruction, had actually cultivated an incarnation of the supreme god, who was indeed his old brother. The five of us besieged Angelia together. My incarnation goes to capture the reincarnation of the Lord of Holy Light. When it's done, I will never treat you badly. Can. The killing god king was the first to nod in agreement. The Lord of the Dead, Adonis, had a gloomy face and was forced to agree. As for Gladstone and the cursed goddess Claytel, they looked at each other without any trace. After secretly exchanging ideas, Gladstone said, "I raise my hands to express my support. Osmond, whether our plan can succeed this time depends on whether your incarnation is powerful enough. If you don't succeed, you will succeed." The god of destruction Osmond said coldly, and then said, "Do it." As soon as the words fell, the six figures disappeared on the spot. However, at this moment, a scream suddenly sounded. It turned out to be from the Lord of the Dead, Adonis. "Look up." Then he saw the space in the area where the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, was exploding. A huge, tattered divine body fell from inside. That was the super giant dragon beast divine body of the Lord of the Undead, Adonis. At this moment, it was torn apart. Looking at the wounds, it was obvious that they had been forcibly torn apart by sharp claws. In addition, the broken body of the Lord of the Undead is still exuding black smoke, which is a terrible curse force that is so powerful that even the surrounding time and space is corroded. Saw this scene. The God King of Slaughter and the God King of Destruction walked out of the void with confused expressions on their faces. The sudden attack by the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, not only made them feel unbelievable, but also forced them to terminate their plan to besiege Angelia. "Damn it!" The killing god King Lawrence roared angrily. "Gladstone, Clettle, are you too crazy? Our enemy is Angelia, not Adonis." 1 second they expressed the need for unity and cooperation, and the next second they launched a sneak attack. These two old men took their shamelessness and cunning to the extreme. The voice fell. The supreme god of the alien beasts, Gladstone, stepped out of the void. At the same time, he stretched out his sharp claws and grabbed the head of Adonis, the Lord of the Undead. He smiled ferociously and said to the god of slaughter, "My dear Lord Lawrence, if I say I didn't mean it, would you believe it?" The killing god King Lawrence was so angry that he was shaking all over. This guy almost tore the Lord of the Undead's divine body into pieces and claimed that he didn't do it on purpose. If it was intentional, wouldn't it just kill the Lord of the Undead? Just at this time, another figure walked out of the void. It was the cursed goddess Claytel, who was wearing a black and gold dress with dark smoky makeup on her beautiful cheeks. She held a green staff. Without hesitation, he stabbed into the head of the Lord of the Undead, Adonis. Countless terrifying curse spells broke out at this moment, directly hitting the soul of the Lord of the Undead. The Lord of the Undead, who had been attacked by the two men in a joint attack, had already been severely damaged, and now he was attacked by the curse goddess's full range of curses, and he died directly. Although he didn't really die, he was not far away from death. In a state of near death, not to mention resisting or escaping, he couldn't even open his eyes and look at the world around him. Gladstone and Clettle's sneak attack was too sudden, and the strongest power broke out in an instant. Even the Lord of the Undead, an experienced supreme god, could not stop it. It's already pretty awesome that I've managed to hold on until now without completely dying. At least a little stronger than Demon Lord Gregory. Claytel. The eyes of the killing god king were red, and he stared at the cursed goddess and said, "You are actually able to be so cruel to your allies in the same camp. I will kill you." The Lord of the Undead, Adonis, is also the supreme god belonging to the evil pantheon of gods. The evil god alliance has always been very united within itself. The reason is that there are too many enemies. If they were not united, they would have been wiped out by other alliances long ago. For example, the camp of holiness and light, the camp of ancient gods headed by the Titan system, etc. The former is the mortal enemy of the evil pantheon alliance. The latter is a potential enemy of the evil pantheon alliance. In the mortal world, evil forces are not welcomed, and the same is true in the battlefield of all realms. Unity is the way to survive for the evil pantheon alliance. However, now, Cletl, the cursed goddess who is also part of the alliance of evil gods, has actually poisoned one of her own people, and she has tried her best to kill Adonis, the lord of the undead. This made the killing god King Lawrence very angry. Next to him, the god of destruction, Osmond, also had a gloomy face, and his eyes were full of disbelief, as if a mortal had seen a ghost. He never thought that such a thing would happen. As the supreme evil god, the cursed goddess Cletl actually sided with the angel clan in charge of the holy and light camp. From ancient times to the present, they have been mortal enemies of the holy and light camps. Except for the Holy Demon War era, when the two camps fought independently and no direct conflict broke out. At other times they basically started fighting when they met, and it was the kind that would never stop. For countless years. Because of the antagonistic relationship between the two camps, many gods have fallen. Not long ago, the cursed goddess Cletl led the gods under her command to participate in a small-scale war between the evil god system and the sun god system. Although due to the emergence of the angel clan, this divine war did not really break out. But at least it shows the firm position of the cursed goddess Cletl. But now, the cursed goddess suddenly betrayed evil and embraced the light. This caught him off guard. As for the supreme god of the alien beasts, Gladstone, he himself belongs to the wavering neutral camp. He once helped the natural gods fight against their evil gods alliance, and also stood on the side of the evil gods alliance to resist the natural gods' invasion of the chaos god realm. Therefore, Gladstone's betrayal is not so incredible. Just when the god king of destruction was still considering whether to rescue the lord of the undead, Adonis, a mouthful of golden divine blood suddenly spurted out from his mouth. A painful expression appeared on his face simultaneously. Turning around, he saw his avatar being slapped to death. The one who took action was naturally Angelia. From the sneak attack on the Lord of the Undead to Angelia killing his god incarnation, everything happened in a flash of lightning, and it seemed to have been planned in advance. Damn it! This is a conspiracy from beginning to end. That is the supreme god who stands at the top of the battlefield of all realms. You were killed so easily? The supreme god controls the supreme laws of the universe. His divine power is so vast that he can easily destroy countless stars, sun, and moon. Like the floating island worlds we are in, the supreme god can annihilate them with a single thought. It is, but it's for us. The supreme god is too powerful to look directly at. The lord of the undead, Adonis, was suddenly attacked by two veteran supreme gods at the same time, especially the curse attack from the curse goddess Cletl, which caused almost fatal damage to the lord of the undead. After all, the lord of the undead is not under Angelia's crown, so it is difficult to fight one against two. It's normal to be beheaded. He was not killed. Although the lord of the undead's body disintegrated, he still had a breath left. It has now fallen into the hands of the cursed goddess and the supreme god of the alien beast tribe. Even if it is not dead, it will not be able to make a big splash. Did not think of. We were able to witness the death of a supreme god with our own eyes. I'm afraid no one will believe it if I tell you. This discussion came from the local strong men who belonged to 014965 Floating Island, who gathered not far behind Lin Yu, such as Queen of Nature Elf Grasseat, Queen of Dark Elf Nadia, Mountain Giant King Vaughn, Lich King, Fairy Dragon Nasha, Ancient Great Elf Doris, Saint of Light Tiffany, etc. They all followed Lin Yu to the battlefield of all realms. At the same time, they have now all been promoted to the realm of gods. Most of the gods are in the early stages of lower true gods. Only a few have reached the middle stage of the lower true god, such as the ancient great elf Doris. The scenes that took place on the high-altitude battlefield shocked everyone present, especially the scene where the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, was suddenly attacked and then quickly suppressed, left all of them stunned. Compared to the sealed demon Lord puppet, the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, is a well-known veteran supreme god on the battlefield of all realms. Not only do he have countless gods under his command, but he also has extremely large-scale believer organizations in countless extraordinary worlds in the universe. Its influence in the universe is astonishing. However, such an ancient and powerful supreme being was torn to pieces on the spot, suppressed and imprisoned under the watchful eyes of these weak, true gods. Such a shocking scene is enough for them to remember for a lifetime. Of course, what shocked them the most was Angelia's outbreak. They never knew that Secretary Un and Butler Un, who had been serving Lin Yu, were actually the 18-winged archangels of the angel clan. Her divine power was so powerful that the demon Lord Gregory turned around and ran away in fear the first time he saw Angelia after waking up. Moreover, it only took one sword to kill the incarnation of the god of destruction, Osmond. You know, the incarnation of the God King of Destruction has also reached the level of the Supreme God. But he was instantly killed with a sword in front of Angelia. It's really too strong. It was only at this moment that the nature elf Queen Grassseed understood why the founder of their nature elf clan, the goddess of nature and elf, was so in awe of the Lord of Holy Light. Take the initiative to run to the dark forest to meet the Lord of Holy Light. The 18-winged archangels under the Lord of Holy Light are so powerful. So how terrifying was the Lord of Holy Light in his heyday? I am afraid that the Supreme God is too weak to be vulnerable in front of the Lord of Holy Light. The God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction only dare to show their desires when the Lord of Holy Light has not yet returned to his peak. If they really want to face the Lord of Holy Light at his peak, they may not even have the courage to raise their heads and look directly at him. I dare not have it. In the crowd, two figures, one large and one small, were whispering. The immortal flower bower, who had a delicate round face, looked at the big lowly sea tongue, who kept swallowing her saliva next to her, and asked in confusion, "What's going on with you?" Big lowly sea tongue whispered, "My intuition tells me that if I can eat the Demon King's puppet and the supreme body of the Lord of the Undead, I can at least be directly promoted to the realm of the Lord God." "Bower, do you think the master will give me food?" "Call Sister Bower." Immortal Flower Bower rolled his eyes and said, "You are a little true God-level blackbone bloodvine, but you actually want to eat the body of the supreme God. Who gave you the courage? Can't you even think about it?" Big lowly sea tongue was a little unhappy. She raised her eyes to look at the Lord of the Undead, who was being held by the supreme god of the alien beasts, Gladstone, and swallowed again. Immortal Flower Bower advised, "Don't think about the body of the supreme god. Go back and ask the master. Maybe the master will give you the body of the wolf god he killed yesterday." "All right." The big lowly sea tongue pursed her lips. She really wants to eat it. That desire to devour was stronger than ever. It's like seeing the most delicious food in the world, and it's hard to resist its temptation. Damn it. This is a conspiracy. Osmond, we've been set up. The killing god King Lawrence was roaring, his expression frightened and angry. Originally, they were 5 against 1. Coupled with the supreme incarnation of the god King of Destruction, Osmond, there are 6 powerful beings who control the supreme divine power. Even if Demon Lord Gregory was suppressed by Angelia, it would not have the slightest impact on them. But in a blink of an eye, the cursed goddess Clettle and the alien beast supreme god Gladstone both betrayed them, and at the same time severely wounded or even captured the Lord of the Undead, Adonis. The incarnation of the god of destruction, Osmond, was also killed by Angelia's sword. All of a sudden, the situation on the court became 3 versus 2. Angelia 3, them 2. How the hell is this playing? In itself, the two of them combined would be hard-pressed to defeat Angelia, and now that the cursed goddess Clettle and Gladstone are on Angelia's side, they are even less of a match. Once they fight, they will most likely end up like the Lord of the Undead, Adonis. Not to mention that he would be killed by the sword of destiny. At least he would be caught and imprisoned. Nonsense. Do you still need to say more? The god of destruction, Osmond, wiped away the golden blood from the corner of his mouth. The eyes that showed countless visions of world destruction glanced at the cursed goddess Claytel coldly. He was no longer prepared to save Adonis, the lord of the undead, and directly said to the god of slaughter, "Let's go. Sooner or later, this revenge will be avenged." He did not hate Gladstone, who had also betrayed him. Because Gladstone is the supreme god of the alien beast tribe, he does not belong to their alliance of evil gods. But the cursed goddess Clettel is different. He had great trust in this supreme god, who also belonged to the alliance of evil gods. However, the cursed goddess Claytel stabbed him in the back and completely ruined his plan. How could he bear this? He secretly swore that he would take revenge once he had the opportunity in the future. Otherwise, he would have to be anxious even while sleeping. On the other side, the killing god King Lawrence also held a grudge against the cursed goddess Claytel, and his blood-red eyes were filled with endless murderous intentions towards the cursed goddess. However, now is not the time to vent your anger. With Angelia here, they not only have no way to deal with the cursed goddess Clettel, on the contrary, they may end up here. So without any hesitation, the two supreme god kings immediately broke through the space and disappeared. We can't let them escape. Gladstone was shocked and immediately called to the cursed goddess Claytel to catch up. But at this moment, time suddenly reverses. The broken space returned to normal instantly. The god of slaughter, Lawrence Chi, and the god of destruction, Osmond, who disappeared on the spot, reappeared on the battlefield. Time and space are the supreme laws of first class. There is a saying that goes like this: time is respected and space is king. Destiny does not come out. Cause and effect reigns supreme. Infinite destruction, unparalleled creation. The laws that appear in this sentence are all ranked at the forefront of the 3,000 laws. Belonging is the most powerful law. And when time and space merge and are promoted to the law of space and time, it becomes even more terrifying. The supreme law of destruction and the supreme law of killing, respectively mastered by the god of destruction, Osmond, and the god of killing, Lawrence, are very powerful, but they still cannot withstand the power of the law of time and space. In particular, the person who used the power of the supreme law of time and space was Angelia, whose divine power was above them all. They were even more unstoppable. In the rewind of time and space, their figures were forcibly pulled back. Damn it! When did Angelia control the laws of time and space? The killing god King Lawrence screamed in horror. If it were an ordinary god, it would be impossible to detect anomalies after going back in time. Just like when Lin Yu transformed Bone Dragon Oster into the Temple Dragon, Bone Dragon Oster died again and again in the process. After each death, he will be resurrected by Lin Yu in a way of time retrieval. Bone Dragon Oster still doesn't know about what he has experienced. However, the killing god King Lawrence was different. He is the supreme god king, the supreme god at the peak level. He can completely detect the anomalies in his own divine body and the surrounding time and space, and thus recognize that he has been reversed in time. The god of destruction, Osmond, can do the same. At this time, the face of the god king of destruction showed the same horrified expression as the god king of killing. During the ancient war between saints and demons, Angelique never showed the power of the supreme law of time and space. What she showed the most was the supreme law of space and the supreme law of fate. This led many people, including the god king of slaughter and the god king of destruction, to believe that Angelia did not control time and space. Thus, he misestimated Angelia's true strength. In fact, Angelia did not have control over time and space before. She only mastered the laws of space. The reason why we can now use the power of the laws of time and space is purely due to Lin Yu's funding. During the day and night exchanges between the two, not only did Lin Yu understand Angelia's secrets of the law of space, but Angelia also learned the secrets of the laws of time from Lin Yu. Until now, both people have merged time and space, mastered the most powerful laws of time and space. Due to her own strength, the power of the laws of time and space displayed by Angelia is far stronger than that of Lin Yu. and it is also easy to go back to the time of the Supreme God. Too strong. Saw this scene. Gladstone, the Supreme God of the alien beasts, exclaimed. The cursed goddess Clettle also shrank her pupils slightly. She also didn't expect Angelia to be so powerful that she could forcibly catch the escaped god king of killing and god of destruction back through the laws of time and space. She could tell by this. The previous analysis by God King of Destruction Osmond that Angelia's strength has not improved in these tens of millions of years is completely wrong. Angelia not only masters the supreme law of time and space, his own divine power is also stronger than before. All this is because Angelia is pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. While the God King of Destruction and the God King of Killing were planning to reincarnate the Lord of Holy Light, Angelia was also thinking of ways to kill the God King of Destruction and the God King of Killing, and start from facts and results. It was Angelia who finally succeeded in realizing her plan. Perhaps all this is under Angelia's control. She has already seen through the future with the power of the supreme law of destiny. Although fate is unpredictable and the future is changeable, and it is even more difficult to see through the fate of the supreme god, Angelia seems to have done it. At least that's what the goddess of curse thinks. Because from the beginning to the end, Angelia acted confidently. Even when she and Gladstone carried out a surprise attack and seriously injured the Lord of the Undead, Adonis, there was no expression of surprise on Angelia's face, and she was extremely calm and calm. This was obviously well prepared. Fortunately, I listened to Helen Green and Olivia. Choose to side with the Lord of Holy Light instead of helping the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction to snatch the super artifact, the Scepter of Origin. Otherwise, the only person who can't run away now is me. The cursed goddess Clettle was secretly glad that she had not made the wrong choice. To put it more seriously, if she died in the hands of Angelia, even if the goddess of luck, Helen Green, and the goddess of fate, Olivia, worked together, they would not be able to revive her. Angelia's sword of destiny is no joke. At this moment, Angelia had already put away the angel's sword in her hand. Instead, it was a holy, snow-white scepter. Angelia also wore an extremely gorgeous crown on her head. In addition, the angel armor suit that Angelia wore before has also turned into a white gold magic dress. Such an outfit, coupled with the 18 snow-white, dazzling angel wings on her back, makes Angelia look even more beautiful, elegant, holy, and noble. This is actually the original appearance of Secretarian. She has never been an 18-winged archangel who likes to take matters into her own hands. What she is good at is leadership and overall management. She is also a command-level angel among the 3 orthodox factions of the angel clan. Like Victoria, she is a pure war angel. As for the 18-winged fallen archangel Astia who likes to do research, she is a divine-level angel. Below, the sky above the central temple of the wolf god clan. Lin Yu's eyes suddenly lit up when he saw Angelia dressed up like this. This was the first time he saw Angelia's real body, and he once again had a feeling of amazement. He said with emotion, "I didn't expect Angelia to be a seraph." Hearing this, Victoria on the side quickly said, "Report to my lord. After the angel's personality exceeds the 12 wings, there is no distinction between seraphim, cherubim, and angels. If you have more than 12 wings, you are considered a high-ranking member of our angel clan. To reach 16 wings is to be an archangel. The 18 wings are the archangel. Below 12 wings, including 12-winged angels, are just ordinary angels, subdivided into 3 levels: upper, middle, and lower." I see. Lin Yu suddenly realized that he looked at Victoria, who was wearing dark blood armor, and said with a smile, "You are not bad. I look forward to seeing what you look like when you return to your peak." At this time, Victoria was no longer a super giant fallen angel with a height of 7 meters. When Angelia went out to fight the enemy, she shrank her angel body and became the height of a normal angel, about 1.7 meters. Now, Lin Yu didn't have to raise his head when he looked at her again. Conversations and doing things are very convenient. Victoria was immediately excited. "Don't worry, my lord. I will restore the status of the 18 wings as soon as possible. Lin Yu nodded. Then he turned his attention to the high-altitude battlefield. Angelia, I think we can talk about this contradiction and conflict again. The killing god King Lawrence Chi spoke. His expression was a little ugly. For him, as the supreme god king, it is a shameful thing to surrender. Once word spreads, his supreme image among the gods under his command and in the hearts of countless believers will be greatly compromised. But there is no way. The situation is stronger than the people. If you don't give in, you may die. Of course he would choose the former. There's nothing to talk about, Angelia said with an indifferent expression. If you are disrespectful to the great Lord of Holy Light, even if you are Clovis, you will be sanctioned by the Holy Light. As she spoke, she completely sealed the battlefield space with the Archangel's scepter in her hand. The God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction were not given a chance to escape at all. At the same time, deep in the void, the Titan God King Clovis trembled and said with great dissatisfaction, "This Angelia is too arrogant and does not take our Titan God clan into consideration." Indeed arrogant. The Dragon God King nodded. Around them, there are dozens of supreme gods. Among them, there are even some supreme gods who belong to the alliance of evil gods. Seeing that the God King of Slaughter and the God King of Destruction were trapped, they had no intention of helping them. These old men are all waiting and watching. It's not that they don't want to get involved in the dispute. On the contrary, they are equally jealous and coveted for the secrets of the Lord of Holy Light and the super artifact, the Scepter of Origin. The reason why they didn't take action was purely because they were afraid. Let's see. The god of killing Lawrence and the god of destruction Osmond, who were eager to eat tofu, didn't they just jump into the pit? Angelia, the 18-winged archangel who has mastered the supreme laws of time and space, is so powerful that it exceeds their expectations. The betrayal from the cursed goddess Claytel and the supreme god of the alien beast Gladstone made them feel even more unbelievable. It's the same idea as killing the God King and destroying the God King. They also did not expect that the cursed goddess Clettel, the supreme deity of the evil pantheon, would actually choose to side with the camp of holiness and light. This has never happened since ancient times. After all, the evil camp and the holy and light camp have always been mortal enemies. The goddess of darkness and the goddess of light are still biological sisters. However, due to their differences in camps, they have never interacted with each other until now. If they appear on the same occasion, they may start fighting directly. The cursed goddess Claytel betrayed evil and embraced the holy light. This incident was enough to shock the entire battlefield of the world and make countless gods stunned. Even if nothing unexpected happens, wait until the information about this incident is exposed. There will definitely be a large number of cursed gods choosing to leave the cursed pantheon run by Clettel. Clettel's betrayal hardly resonates with the cursed gods. In the eyes of all the supreme gods, Clettel's move this time was completely injuring 1,000 enemies and destroying oneself 800 times. Apart from being able to hug the Lord of Holy Light, there are no other benefits at all. In general, the series of events that occurred on the battlefield were somewhat unexpected by the supreme gods present. I'm glad I didn't join in recklessly. The same goes for the Titan god King Clovis. Especially when he saw Angelia suddenly using the supreme law of time and space to forcibly capture the god King of Killing and the god of Destruction who had already escaped, his heart trembled. This Angelia is even more powerful than when she fought against the holy demon. Even if he was well capitalized and equipped with all the supreme artifacts, he still didn't have the confidence to be able to compete with Angelia in this state. After a moment of silence, the Titan god King Clovis suddenly turned his attention to a group of supreme gods of the evil Pantheon Alliance gathered in the void not far away. The supreme gods of these evil camps are also veteran strongmen. He is famous in the battlefields of all realms. Among them, there is the Lich King who is known as the ancestor of Lich, the Poison God King who is superb at playing the supreme law of poison, the Spider Goddess who created the human-faced spider family, and the God of Light who has always wanted to destroy it. Department of Dark Goddess, and so on. There are 7 supreme gods in total, all of whom belong to the alliance of evil gods. In other words, the entire evil pantheon alliance has 11 supreme gods. Such a powerful strength is enough to compete with the holy and light camps, provided that the angel family does not intervene. Titan God King Clovis said, "You are not going to help Lawrence and Osmond? I absolutely believe that as long as you participate, you will be able to suppress Angelia." Hearing these words from the Titan King, the 7 supreme gods of the evil pantheon all rolled their eyes secretly. Previously, the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction had full confidence in being able to suppress Angelia and even seize the super artifact, the Origin Scepter, in the reincarnated body of the Lord of Holy Light. But what's the result? It's not like I fell into a pit. The slaughter god King Lawrence, as the supreme god at the pinnacle level, had slaughtered countless void demon gods during the ancient Holy Demon War era and even killed the Demon Lord. In terms of divine power, the killing god King Lawrence is considered extremely powerful among them. However, now, facing Angelia who has restored her real body, she still surrenders. The key is, the King of Killers surrendered and did not receive mercy from Angelia. The famous 18-winged archangel directly used the archangel's scepter to seal off the entire battlefield space, preparing for another double kill. Even a fool knows not to get involved at this time. After all, what if there is a betrayer, like the cursed goddess Claytel, hidden among their 7 supreme gods? It's not impossible. When the Lord of Holy Light ordered the angel clan to dominate the battlefields of all realms, it caused countless gods to lower their heads. There were even many supreme gods belonging to other camps who received guidance from the Lord of Holy Light. It is easy for this type of supreme god to take refuge in the Lord of Holy Light, who has returned to the battlefield of all realms. There is no guarantee that there is no such person among them. So how dare they act rashly? In their view, the Titan King Clovis was also treacherous. He clearly coveted the Lord of Holy Light and the Angel clan, but he did not dare to take action himself and tried to get them to assist the King of Killing and Destruction. Once successful, Clovis will definitely take action and the fishermen will benefit. If it fails, Clovis will be fine and they will be killed. They are not lunatics like the God King of Slaughter and the God King of Destruction, or brainless like the Lord of the Undead. Naturally, they will not be fooled by the Titan God King Clovis, on top of a towering throne. The fair-skinned and beautiful goddess of darkness wears a black and gold dress. The smoky makeup on her face is even more exaggerated than that of the cursed goddess Clettel, and there is a thick black mist surrounding her. It can be determined at a glance that she is not a good person. However, this is in line with the style of the dark goddess. After all, she is a famous evil god in her own right. The dark goddess is famous in all realms of the universe, especially above the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction. And her devotion to God and the number of believers who believe in her are unbelievable. The goddess of darkness said with an indifferent expression, "If His Highness Clovis wants to determine whether the Lord of Holy Light retains the power at his peak, you can do it yourself. There is no need to use us as spearmen." These words directly pointed out the intention of the Titan God King Clovis, and remind Clovis not to think of using them. These evil supreme gods are not fools, and no one will fall into the pit dug by Clovis. Titan King Clovis was not angry. A faint smile appeared on the resolute face that was like a knife and an axe, and he said, "How can this be considered use? I just don't want to see your evil god alliance suffer too much loss." Once the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction are suppressed by Angelia, even if the Angel clan does not enter the battlefield of all realms in the future, it will be difficult for your evil god alliance to compete with the Holy and Light camps. Before that, the evil Pantheon alliance is powerful enough to protest against the Holy and Light camps. Even stronger, because the Holy and Light camp is backed by the Angel clan. Its power is so strong that the gods of other camps are extremely afraid of it. In many cases, the ancient divine camp, headed by the Titan god line and the Dragon god line, would also choose to side with the evil god line alliance in order to suppress the forces of the Holy and Light camps. This can be seen from the Supreme Council this time. None of the supreme gods participating in the Supreme Council are from the Holy and Light camp. mainly led by the evil gods alliance and the ancient gods camp. During this war turmoil, the cursed goddess Cletl chose to betray, and the lord of the dead Adonis was suppressed, resulting in the loss of two supreme gods. If the god king of killing and the god king of destruction were also left in Angelia's hands, then the evil Pantheon alliance lost the four supreme gods. In future confrontations with the holy and light camps, without the help of other divine camps, it would be completely impossible for the evil divine camp to gain the upper hand. However, even so, none of the seven supreme gods of the evil gods present expressed their intention to assist the god king of killing and destruction. The Titan god King Clovis has already won over more than 20 supreme gods from various major divine factions present, and their overall strength is terrifying. But why didn't Clovis take action? It's not just that I'm worried that the reincarnation of the Lord of Holy Light has a trump card. Clovis, as an ancient god king who existed in the world in ancient times, did not dare to act rashly. So how could they dare? To put it more seriously, if it hits the muzzle of the Lord of Holy Light, the entire evil god system alliance will be destroyed. The god king of killing and the god king of destruction are madmen driven by desire, but they are not. The dark elf goddess said with a calm expression, "It doesn't matter whether I can compete with the holy and light camps. I have only one enemy, and that is Annabelle." Annabelle, the true name of the goddess of light. In ordinary intelligent races in the extraordinary world, few people know the relationship between the goddess of darkness and the goddess of light. All I know is that the goddess of darkness and the goddess of light are mortal enemies. In view of this, the gods and believer camps under the two goddesses are also mortal enemies. Darkness and light are not only enemies between camps, but also a battle of beliefs. It's basically a state of never ending. But they, the supreme gods who live in the battlefield of all realms, know very well that the goddess of darkness, Sylvia, and the goddess of light, Annabelle, are biological sisters. However, even with such a close relationship, due to repeated wars of faith, they are now separated from each other until death. Even when they meet, it is possible to differentiate between superior and inferior, as well as life and death. However, since the goddess of darkness and the goddess of light have similar powers, they have been fighting for so many years and still can't tell who will win. Just at this time, a goddess in extremely coquettish and charming clothes said, "Even if I want to rescue now, it's too late." A believer of mine who is stationed in the Chaos God realm told me that the goddesses from the Holy and Light camps have successfully entered the Chaos God realm. The goddess of light, the goddess of sun radiance, the goddess of judgment and judgment, the goddess of moonlight and hunting, the starry Valkyrie, etc., are all here. In addition, the goddess of the sea, the god of the sky, the goddess of the aurora, etc., headed by the goddess of nature and spirits Heloise, are also among them. The total number of supreme gods is as many as 24. If we take action now, the custody will be spoiled by these supreme gods. This charming goddess is in human form. She is extremely beautiful in appearance and exudes infinite charm in every move she makes. However, if one knew what her true form was, people would most likely stay away from her. Because she is the spider goddess. The main body is an extremely ugly, half-human, half-spider human-faced spider when Lin Yu captured the underground world of Floating Island. The army of fallen angels headed by Victoria, because the human-faced spiders were too ugly, led to the entire human-faced spider empire being wiped out. The human-faced spider king who escaped early was finally caught and beheaded by the fallen angel army. All I can say is that this evil race is really unpleasant. However, if we don't talk about the real body, the spider goddess at this moment is still very enchanting and moving. Its human form exudes an alluring charm all the time. The clothes are also extremely sexy and provocative. It would not be too much to give her the title of Goddess of Beauty and Desire. Of course, it doesn't matter. What matters is what the spider goddess just said. It instantly shocked the dozens of supreme gods present, and even the expression of the Titan god King Clovis became solemn. Why are they so fast? Between the Holy Light divine realm and the Chaos divine realm, there are hundreds of large and small divine realms. Even with the strength of the Supreme God, it would take 2 to 3 days to travel through so many divine realms. Today is the second day after the Lord of Holy Light returns to the battlefield of all realms, and they are here already. It seems that in order to delay the speed of the Goddess of Light and others, the Killing God King also placed supreme law restrictions around the Chaos God's domain and sealed the cross-domain teleportation array. Are these methods useless? There's no point talking about it now. I just want to know why the supreme gods of the natural system are entangled with the goddesses of the sacred and light camp. Don't Heloise claim to be a neutral camp and never get involved in camp disputes? Heloise, the goddess of nature and elves, is the supreme deity of the neutral faction, just like the two sisters, the goddess of fate and the goddess of luck. Except for occasional conflicts with the Chaos God realm, it basically does not participate in the wars between the various divine factions. This is also a well-known thing. Spider Goddess said, obviously, the natural gods have also taken refuge in the Lord of Holy Light. The reason why the goddesses from the Holy and Light camp came so quickly is because they have been staying in the realm of the natural gods during this time. They set out from the natural god realm, not the relatively distant Holy Light god realm. Compared to the hundreds of divine worlds of different sizes separated from Holy Light Divine Realm and Chaos Divine Realm, Natural Divine Realm can be considered adjacent to Chaos Divine Realm. Starting from the Natural God Realm, you only need to pass through a few small God Realm worlds, as well as realm storms and divine power turbulence to enter the chaotic God Realm. So it is. A supreme god whose body is like a giant monster of the deep sea suddenly realizes. Here, the Titan god King Clovis looked at the indifferent expression of the dark goddess and said, now that the holy and light camps are allied with the natural gods, it will be even more difficult for you to suppress Annabelle. As long as you are willing, my Titan god system can help you. Hearing this, the expression of the dark goddess was as calm as ever. Like the water in a deep pool, it is cold and waveless. The dispute between Annabelle and me has never been mixed with other supreme gods or divine factions. Even if the natural divine faction joins us, it will not have any impact. Titan King Cloviston was bored. He originally wanted to win the evil gods alliance into his ancient gods camp. In this way, even if the natural gods form an alliance with the holy and light camp, they will not be able to threaten him, provided that the angel family does not interfere. As a result, the dark goddess seemed to have no desires or desires. Turn a blind eye to his advances. But that's okay. If he can't win over the dark goddess, he can still win over other evil supreme gods. After all, you won't fail every time. At this time, a message from the Dragon God King suddenly sounded in the consciousness of the Titan God King Clovis. Clovis, the outcome of the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction has been decided. Unfortunately, in the end, we were unable to find out the details of the reincarnation of the Lord of Holy Light. Now, with the arrival of the goddesses from the Holy and Light camps, if we want to target the reincarnation of the Lord of Holy Light, we may not have a chance. Don't worry, there will definitely be a chance. Titan God King Clovis said confidently, don't forget, we have the super artifact, the Tower of Eternity. Even if 7 18-winged archangels come together, there is nothing we can do against the Tower of Eternity. On the battlefield of all realms, there are only 2 creatures that can threaten the Tower of Eternity. One is the Spirit of World Rules in the battlefield of all realms, and the other is the Lord of Holy Light in its heyday. Ignore the former. The Spirit of Rules is impartial and selfless and will not favor any camp. We only need to find a way to determine the identity of the Lord of Holy Light, and then we can decide whether to take action. Right. The Dragon God King nodded. The reason why they did not participate in this war. It was because it was impossible to determine whether the Lord of Holy Light still had the power at his peak. Once it's determined, it's a matter of a moment's notice whether or not to take action. At that time, as long as they use the Tower of Eternity, no one can protect the reincarnation of the Lord of Holy Light. Battle space. A door to time and space suddenly opened. After leaving behind the supreme divine body of the Lord of the Undead, Gladstone walked in with the cursed goddess Claytel. This gate of time and space was created by Angelia. Except for her, no one knows where Grace and the goddess of the damned were transported. In short, as soon as the two old men left, Angelia exploded. Riding the supreme law and divine power like a tsunami, it crushed towards the God King of killing and the God King of destruction. Sensing the terrifying power contained in the supreme law, the supreme God Kings of the two evil camps turned green with fear. However, fear is fear. They still could only sacrifice the supreme artifact to resist. Soon, a supreme war broke out again. This time, it was Angelia versus two. With the power of one person, he single-handedly challenged two supreme gods at the peak level. In the past, she would still have to go all out. But now Secretary and just needs to be a little more serious. The battlefield space spans billions of kilometers. High above the 9 heavens, wrapped in a sea of clouds. At this moment, the entire battlefield space is shaking. Although Angelia blocked the battlefield space with the prohibition of the supreme law and suppressed it with the archangel's scepter in her hand, she still could not calm down the aftermath of the shock. Even mortal creatures can clearly see with their naked eyes that the time and space around the battlefield space is distorted. Some places even collapsed, revealing the pitch-black, dark universe behind it. You know, this is the battlefield of all realms, known as the center of the universe. The power of the spirit of its world rules is so powerful that it far exceeds the level of the supreme god. Under its suppression, it is very difficult for even the supreme gods to disintegrate the space of this world. However, the war between the three supreme gods distorted the outside time and space through the restriction of laws, which shows how terrifying the laws and divine power that they unleashed are. To put it more directly, if there is no prohibition by the supreme law, there was no archangel's scepter of Angelia suppressing. Not to mention the 80 billion kilometer territory of the wolf god clan below. If the entire chaos god realm cannot be preserved, it is possible that it will be razed to the ground due to the battle between the three supreme beings. The supreme god stands at the pinnacle of the universe. A single thought can destroy vast expanse of galaxy worlds. Even in the battlefield of all realms, in this world protected by the supreme rules, the destructive power of the supreme gods is still very terrifying. Generally speaking, war between the supreme gods will go to the outside world, even the dimensional void. It is rare to start a battle directly on the battlefield of all realms. After all, if you don't do it right, you may be punished by the spirit of the rules of the battlefield of the world. At this time, inside the battlefield space, the time and space that was directly attacked by the three supreme laws and divine power was not twisted or cracked, but disintegrated layer by layer, like a fragile mirror. Angelia has exploded with the strongest power before her personality cracked. Coupled with the supreme law of time and space, it directly suppressed the God King of killing and the God King of destruction with an absolute advantage. It can be seen that in Angelia's vast ocean of laws, there are more than 100 supreme laws. Time and space, destiny, holiness, light, annihilation, judgment, divine punishment, sanctions. Every law has reached the level of the supreme God King. In fact, Angelia has mastered the power of laws in more than 2,000 different attribute fields. It's just that the other laws are at the level of the Lord God and the true God, so they are not used. In addition, the emergence of more than 100 supreme laws is enough to suppress the God King of killing and the God King of destruction. These two supreme God Kings, who claim to have reached the pinnacle level, combined do not have as many supreme laws as Angelia. This is the power of the strongest 18-winged archangel. In fact, the strength of the God King of killing and God King of destruction is not as strong as the supreme demon ancestor among the Void Demon clan. When the holy demon fought, they had not yet reached the peak level of the supreme god. Thanks to that cosmic battle, they were promoted. On the other hand, Angelia had the terrifying power to kill the supreme demon ancestor as early as that year. Of course, neither of them combined is a match for Angelia. Maybe it's because I know this. The killing god King Lawrence the wizard surrendered to Angelia as soon as he was imprisoned. Unfortunately, his wishful thinking was wrong. secretary and will naturally not let go of any heresy who is disrespectful to the Lord of Holy Light, even if the object is the supreme God. There was a loud bang. The battlefield space and time that had just been repaired by the spirit of world rules exploded again. The ocean of supreme law, which was terrifying enough to make even the supreme gods change their expressions, swept past. The two brothers, the God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction, were severely injured on the spot, spitting golden divine blood. The weapons of both of them are long swords. One is the sword of slaughter, and the other is the sword of destruction. These two divine swords have all reached the level of supreme artifacts. However, at this moment, these two evil swords, which are famous in all realms of the universe, quickly dimmed after being attacked by Angelia's supreme law. Not only were they struck by the terrifying supreme law, at the same time, he was subjected to thousands of magical purifications in an instant. Everyone knows that one of the special abilities of the angel family is to purify and purify all evil forces. The sword of killing and the sword of destruction have slaughtered countless creatures and destroyed countless worlds, and have long since evolved into extremely evil and evil artifacts. Even if the peak god gets these two divine swords, he will be affected by their evil power and his character will change drastically. However, this is the kind of thing that the angel clan's magic likes to purify the most. Moreover, Angelia was the one who used the magic of purification. This is purely hitting the muzzle. The God King of Killing and the God King of Destruction were hit hard at the same time, and you could even hear the whine coming from the sword of killing and the sword of destruction. These two supreme divine swords would have suffered a lot by following them in this war.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.